Hello everyone, this is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today we're looking at Zapdos Beasts. It was pretty much my favourite archetype from the Sun and Moon to Team Up format, and it still seems to be very strong in the Unbroken Bonds meta. Now you'll notice my list is actually pretty boring and vanilla actually. There's no new tech attackers in this deck at all. In fact, the biggest change is in the support account. I've added in double Kukui to help out against some of these 120 hit point Pokemon out there. The greens build of Volk, Reshizard, and also Weezing are some big things to answer in the format. And I think these Kukuis really help us push without running out of Electropowers, so still we can get over the line in those couple of matchups. Now, Weezing is inherently one of our more difficult ones, as is Stall. But against a lot of the other decks out there right now, Zapdos is still powerful and just can win prize races a lot of the time. That's the biggest selling point of this deck. It can just hit the ground running with early pressure from Thunderous Assault and just carry on that way throughout the game. So still very consistent, applies good pressure. You have your Power Spike turns of Sledgehammer and Nightcap, which are both obviously very strong. So yeah, Zapdos is still just plugging away and doing really solid work. So let's jump into the list, starting off with the 4 Stellar Wish Jirachi. Look at the top 5, reveal a trainer. Mainly we're looking for Electropowers to modify our damage for later turns, or switching options for our Jirachi themselves. Guzmas, of course, to pick off easy targets. So that's all kind of what we're looking for most of the time with Jirachi, outside of just other supporters for draw. So yeah, consistency, ramping up damage for big power spike turns, and just constant threat of Guzma is what Jirachi is all about here. Then we have our main attacker in Zapdos, 3 copies of it. 10 base, but 70 more when we jump into the active. That's why it has such great synergy with this Jirachi. So it's all about spamming Stellar Wish as much as possible, and then getting your Zapdos out of there and back into the active, so you can do that 80 base damage, which is enough to knock out pretty much every basic evolving Pokemon. And with the help of Electropowers, we can get over the line against all sorts of things, which is incredible. From there, we have the 1-1 Tapu Koko Prism Star and Tapu Koko-GX package. Dance of the Ancients can get us back a couple lightning energies and get them into play so that we can use Aero Trail and then straight into Tapu Koko-GX to pull off Sky High Claws, which does a base of 130. This is also a really great thing against Weezing. It can be a late game sort of bomb that we put on the board, and he can carry like sometimes 3 prizes on his own back, which is incredible. Sky High Claws base output is perfect for that, and a bunch of other non-GXs you can just deal with quite easily. But the main selling point is the Tapu Thunder GX attack that does 50 for each energy attached to all your opponent's Pokemon. This is amazing against Pikarom, amazing against Reshizard, and that's pretty much all it needs to be good for, really. So yeah, it's even good against like Nagquag and stuff. So yeah, really awesome GX attack option that gets a huge amount of damage on the board all at once, especially with, again, additions from Choice Band, Electropower, and even Kukui now in the list. Next up, we have the 2 Ultra Beasts, a sort of rainbow part of the deck. 1 copy of Buzzwole. Sledgehammer is still a very nice power spike turn. Again, jumping up to that 120 is good for knocking out baby Volcanions, Weezings, and thanks to our type coverage, knocking out Pikaroms and also knocking out Zoroarks is amazing for us. This is still a very powerful sort of power spike that this deck has available to it. And we have the Nihilego in here. The Nightcap turn is another one that we can really take advantage of. Again, copying a Reshizard's Flare Strike, doing 230 for 1 attachment. We can have Beast Energy or Band, even with a Shrine involved as well. We can knock out Reshizards, which is amazing. And there's a bunch of other attacks that we love to copy as well. So Nihilego is still really strong. Again, just helpful against these bigger threat decks. And when we're all non-GX, it's quite easy for one of these 2 Ultra Beasts to at least get their power spike off. That's the main idea of this deck. I'm still playing a 1-1 Zebstrika line. I still like the use of Sprint. I think the 2-2 line was most important when Zoroark was much more popular. I feel like Zoroark's still in and around like tier 1.5, tier 2, as like the most consistent counter deck there is. But the main thing is a lot of them have gone away from Lycanroc, so it's much less likely that people can develop a Muck and Guzma out your Blitzle or Zebstrika on turn 2. That was something that previously Zoroark could do if they were able to evolve a Muck and a Lycanroc in the same turn. They could bring up your lone Blitzle and kill it, and then you end up with no engine. So I'm more comfortable with a 1-1 Zebstrika line. I still love the option to sprint. It helps us refresh our hand a little bit more, protects us from a lower Muck, from like, again, Zoroark players mainly. and just in general helps us push a little bit further and deeper into the deck to hit our key outs. He's also very nice against Weezing because he's an evolving Pokemon, and it means that we're less reliant on putting down too many Jirachis, which are easily like gobbled up by Weezing just from its like ability alone half the time. So I like having the 1/1 Zebra in here just for consistency. Also going to play the 1 Let Loose Marshadow. It really helps out against any main sort of like setup based deck, the Quagnags, Zoro, any stage 2 deck out there. Let Loose is going to be a pain for them. Gives us that small window of opportunity against Stool where you just try and hit them with the Let Loose, make it stick, and maybe just like go through like 1 or 2 of the opening Pokemon, especially if they only start off with 1 Pokemon in the active, especially if it's not a Lucario or Mermetal. These are all small percentages. I think we have inherently a very bad Stool matchup, but Let Loose gives us that small window of opportunity there, which is pretty reasonable. Onto the item cards, we played Double Stretcher. We have to try and like recycle our Zapdos as much as possible. We have the whole switching card package of Double Rope, 3 Switch, and Double Board. Do bear in mind that Field Blower's kind of on the high right now, so you may think about changing this board count from 2 and maybe going to like 3rd or 4th, like 4th Switch and 3rd Rope are all reasonable, but I still like Escape Board. Just sticking on a Jirachi just for 1 or 2 turns still gets its value. We have the 4 Nest and 3 Ultra, plenty of search options, the higher Ultra Ball count to help us out with getting Let Loose going, as well as Zebra. The Nest Ball obviously maxing that out for consistency. 4 Electro Powers, for these damage modifiers of course. 1 copy of Shrine, maybe a little on the low side. You can think about playing 2. If you play 2, you're much stronger against Reshizard because you're more likely to have 1 damage counter like on them so that you can Nightcap for a 1-hit KO. And as well, just Shrine ticking them over can help you like need less Electro Powers later down the line. So if you're more concerned about Reshizard, you could add in a 2nd Shrine. At the moment, I like Double Kukui because it helps you get through the Baby Volks. And the Greens build is pretty popular after Kian won with it. So Double Kukui, I think, is probably more popular and more useful. So yeah, I think the 1 Shrine is just reasonable right now. The Thunder Mountain helps us again attack with Zapdos for free. Helps us around like Absol, so I can like attach, retreat, escape boarded Jirachis and stuff. Also helps the Tapu Koko-GX be more of a live threat throughout the entire game. Then we have the 2 copies of Kukui. It's a little bit sketchy not playing Volkner. You'll notice I've gone up to a 5th Lightning Energy just because we aren't playing the Volkner anymore, so we have less accessibility to our Lightning Energies. So there's a small tweak we've had to make to the deck, but these Kukuis are just amazing for 120 hit point stuff, and I think there's enough of them in the format right now that Kukui is warranted. It also just helps us make those big pushes on the tag teams that are out there right now. Double Cynthia for some shuffle draw, as well as the 4 Guzma, such an essential card for this deck, and the 4 copies of Lillie. Gonna play Double Band, again, it's for the tag team stuff, and also pretty reasonable against like Zoroark, helping you deal with Dedenes and Lele's and stuff a little bit easier. We're going to have the 1 copy of Beast Energy. Obviously, is like a 3rd choice band, but helps out on these guys, especially on the Buzzwole, especially if Zoro isn't playing Devoured Fields so much anymore. I've seen a lot of them play Brooklets. I've seen a lot of them play Champions Festival to help out against Weezing. So if that's the case, or even I see a lot of Zoros just playing more Field Blowers and like the Reset Hole Marshadow. So they're reducing their physical stadium count a lot, and it means that the Beast Energy can do huge work against them a lot of the time, because you're not putting that 10 damage on yourself with a Rainbow. But we still need the Rainbows, so we can copy these attacks and also have the live targets for the Zapdos, and 5 Lightning should round out the deck pretty nicely. So, the new options from Unbroken Bonds. What do we want to play? Well, there's Buzzwole Pheromosa. It's a 3-prize Pokemon, which has its downsides, especially if you start him, which is terrible. But Beast Game GX is a great option for this deck. It can really open up some doors, especially in mirror match situations or anything that plays Jirachis or Marshadows. You can try and get your Beast Energy on a Guzma and Beast Game for 2 prizes and really jump ahead in the race. That's kind of the big utility that this card provides. At the moment, I think it is good for Mirror. Mirror's like pretty popular. Zapdos is like tier 2, tier 1 maybe. And Beast Game is relevant for Mirror. So if you want to be teched out for Mirror, this is one option. The other option is just Absol. Absol is a far less invasive Mirror tech that I'm not playing. And we all know Absol is very good for shutting down Jirachi-based builds. There's still Reshizard with Jirachi. There's still a whole bunch of other decks playing Jirachi, not just Mirror. So yeah, Absol's still a good card that you might want to weave in for opposing Jirachi players. There's a nice Spiritomb, which I've surprisingly enjoyed in this deck. The building Spite into a late Anguish Cry, especially with the double choice band in this list. Can be a great sort of late game option. And the main thing I like about it is people want to Guzma him. As soon as there's like 4 damage counters on this Spiritomb, people try and target him, and that automatically resets our Zapdos and gives us like a free Stellar Wish. So that's the main like reason why I like the Spiritomb. Even if you're not getting the value out of his attack, just him building Spite on the board for a few turns makes him a big threat to then like give us an extra Stellar Wish. So even when he's not doing stuff, he's doing stuff, which is pretty weird. But I like him as an additional Rainbow Energy attacker. There's also the Kartana. This is really only if you are expecting there to be opposing Absols, because he provides a free retreat cost, which is really nice. His grass typing isn't all that relevant right now. There's not much weak to grass. So Big Cut is only really doing 130. But for 1 attachment, that's not bad. So, yeah, pretty reasonable. I think the main reason I don't like this Kartana is its hit points is, again, like, real low. And it's just too squishy a lot of the time. But it can get you a nice knockout here and there. And if Zoro does go back to Lycanroc, it's obviously an option that you will be including. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's going to be most of the attackers you could be considering in Zapdos Beasts. I've been playing a lot of different Zapdos decks. I feel this one's okay. I think we could also be playing extra stuff for stall if we really wanted to. But I don't think it's all that necessary. So, well, it depends. I'm hoping that Rechizard keeps stall in check enough for it not to be like a top tier threat. Obviously, it did really, really well in recent regionals, but my fingers are crossed that Rechizard's popularity will overall stamp it down as much as possible. Not that stall can't try and like super tech hard for Rechizard. It definitely can, but I feel like a lot of the time they will have the gas to get through them, just because they have all those fire crystals, and if they play like the stealthy herds and the plethora of attackers, they should be able to get through enough stuff. Okay, after 1 mulligan, we start off with the Jirachi, which is all we ever ask for. Starting Jirachi is just such a big deal. Protects us around opposing Let Loose, especially when we're going second, and it gives us an extra chance of getting a supporter here, which isn't in our opening hand. So yeah. Looks like we are up against a Rechizard. Looks like they're also playing Flareon as their answer to Weezings and Stall. Well, Weezings and Plume, I guess. Whilst also being like a pretty reasonable card. Gonna see an Acrobite, get rid of a Nest. There's their own Jirachi. They're also going to Lele, so they've already put down a lot of prizes. They've already put 8 prizes of Pokemon into play. They're going to Lele out a Kiawe and just go ahead and kick off with that. They're going to get 4 energy just bursted out onto their active, I guess. So already 5 energies in play. You can see why Tapu Koko is still a good card. We pick up a Beast Energy. Does that change much? It changes what I might necessarily have to Nest Ball here. It might mean I have to go for a Buzzwole early just to hit this guy for 60. I'm going to play the Nest Ball first here. Let Loose is here. We also have the option to Confuse and Poison the active as well. It might force him to retreat. It's only doing 10 as opposed to 60 damage though, which I would kind of like. We've prized 2 Zapdos, which is rough. Obviously, it's one of our main attackers. We have our Shrine. We have both Akuis, both Choice Bands, all the Rainbows, 3 E-Powers. Okay, 1 Stretcher. So we've prized Stretcher and... Oh, no, we have Stretcher in hand. What am I talking about? We have... Okay. Oh, this is still going to be hard. We don't have that constant Zapdos pressure, like, quite as guaranteed, which is a big yikes. I'm going to Stellar Wish, hoping for a supporter. Okay, we get Lillie. That's nice. Still not going to Ultra Ball here. I think we want to try and find Lightning Energies so I can bin them off with Ultra Ball to try and turbo out this Koko as quickly as possible. That seems to be a good option here. I'm going to bench Blitzle. We can Ultra Ball and Let Loose here. Opponent's hand size is only 4. But I think we need it for our own recycle here. Choice Band and Shrine would be pretty good pickups. backup supporter. Oh, we find all of those things. Okay, well. This is basically like using a Zapdos. A little bit more expensive, but... The Shrine means he can just outrage through us, but he already has 4 energies, so he could knock us out however he chose. They're able to replace Stadium straight out the gate. And they're going to use that Stadium, getting rid of another Nest Ball. For a good old Fire Energy. They're going to Welder to the Flareon, I guess. Just the 1, so they can draw 3 cards. See another Nest Ball. Reshizard number 2 coming down. And they're just going to outrage. They have 170 hit points to get through still, which is a lot, obviously. Especially when our hand is pretty poor. Picking up a Koko. Pretty good. We will Stellar Wish first here. Nest Ball is an interesting one. So I really want to maybe just Guzma KO Jirachi's the best move here. Means I have to get rid of Kukui though, which is a bit ugly. But I really want to get the maximum value out of this Koko Prism Star. So I want to Stadium, get rid of Kukui, just get Energy Zapdos, Guzma. It's probably our best move. It's a little ugly, but I doubt our opponent's going to try and go for our 1 Jirachi. We're going to keep 1 card in hand, and we're going to Stadium away a supporter, so I think he has to assume we won't have a dead hand. I don't know, maybe he'll make the hard read on us, but we're also going to get a prize here. And it's a 33% to hit a Zapdos, which we kind of want. We miss, but yeah. They're going to promote their Reshizard. The main means of healing in this Jirachi-based build of Reshizard is the Miltank. So we'll be on the lookout for that. They're going to Acrobike away a Choice Band. Stadium away a Turtle for a Fire Energy. They can Welder now. Is it the next Reshizard that's getting powered up? You know it is. So Stellar Wish has got to be good next turn, that's for sure. We also have our top deck, but it is our Sledgehammer turn, but that won't be doing enough. Guzma. I probably have to use the Stellar Wish before the Stadium as well, unfortunately. That's real bad. That's real bad. Let's think about this. Is Guzma Flop our best play on this? Our prize is sort of like the map of our prizes is this and this. Guzma Flop sounds so terrible. Seeing as though that's one of our key outs to draw cards. It opens up, like, it closes Ultra Ball from being an out for us to draw cards from our Stellar Wishes. How many Guzmas? I feel like we have to, though. The old Guzma Flop play. This is desperate, but it's setting up this Lele for a future Guzma. That's what we're hoping for. That's what we're hoping for. I don't see anything else we can do outside of just retreating into a Marshadow. This is at least progressing our board somewhat. They're going to replace their Viridian for a Heat Factory. They're also able to Acrobike here. Get rid of a board. They can attach and retreat active pretty happily. And then we go back into the Reshizard. And it's our next attempt at trying to Stellar Wish our way out of this mess. Ultra Balls aren't outs. They wouldn't have been outs anyway because our hand size is too small. It would have been last turn, but not this turn. And Escape Board's a terrible top deck. Let's try our best. Okay. Okay, we're alive. We are officially alive. Let's go. 6 cards. Those aren't very good cards. We were looking for more like Energy Ultra Ball. No energy whatsoever means I'm probably not taking a knockout. I can still win. He has to attack 3 times no matter what. Whereas if I go find a way to knock this out next turn with a non-GX and then knock this out with our GX, that's our path. The path is getting shorter and shorter though, I'll be honest. Well, there's an Ultra Ball. That has to be part of our route. Does it involve... So I think it involves this. I would need to Koko now. So our path is kill this for 120 somehow next turn. We will have a nightcap available. So I think it's actually this. Try and sprint dig next turn. Okay. Still not out of our reach. Still not out of our reach. We need a big turn next turn though. We've had a few whiffs. We've had a few whiffs, but we've got the chances still. A Guzma of any kind would be very scary here. You see Fire Crystal. Also, healing of any kind is very scary. Well, there isn't Guzma or Acerola, which is good. So next turn it's Nightcap. Yeah, we could just Nightcap through the active and look for Guzma next turn. We don't have to Guzma this turn. So the rope's pretty good. Means I can't get the free escape board. I have to protect these energies. They're able to Stellar Wish. They're going to get another rope. They can board their active. They're going to come in with Swan. No, they're going back into the damaged one. That's good for us. That means Nightcap is still an option. Now, how many switch cards have I gone through? 2 switch and 2 board. I really don't want to have to rope because I want to Nightcap through this if I can. So I think we're going with no Stellar Wish here. If Nightcap is our route, we get rid of the E-Power. We grab this, then we have Lillie with guaranteed Ultra Ball for our Nightcap, and then we have to try and either Lillie and or sprint into the Rainbow. Oh, it's all the pieces I can't sprint. Okay. 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 This is fine. We still have our last stretcher, so this is fine. We have a 16 card deck to try and sprint into one of our 15 card deck. Actually, it'll be a 14 after the Stellar Wish. 14 card deck to try and sprint into one of our 4 E-Powers. No, Rainbows. So we 100% can't take Stretcher. Any of these cards. The Guzmas are useful. So we do this. Do this. Do this. I mean, it's not important. Do this. And then we sprint and very much hope to find one rainbow. 4 in 14 to hit a rainbow. Okay, we do. We do. We can Nightcap and steal Flare Strike. To take 3 prize cards. There's Zapdos Energy. So, we can either 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We can we can find Stretcher and Koko-GX if our stadium stays, and this isn't, well, no, even if our stadium doesn't stay. Yeah, we can relatively easily Koko-GX for game. Or we could Stellar Wish into an Electropower for game on this. I think we're actually in reasonable shape. The Nightcap has swung us back. They may be thinking, what's the best Guzma here? It's probably the Zebra, right? Or either Jirachi. It's got to be one of those two. Probably Zebra for me. Yeah. But there are 6 energies in play. They could try and play around Reshizard by retreating and attaching to their Flareon. That's the best way they could play around us. An Ultra Ball. They could also let loose here. They're going to grab another Jirachi. Yeah, they're going to let loose. Our hand was Flames, so it's not a bad let loose from them. Well, we get back into the key pieces. Thunder Mountain's still here, so our outs are the same. Our outs are the same. So, of our 12 card deck, we have Stretcher. Oh, Stretcher's game. Whew. Man, what a crazy game. Let's do this. Jump up. Tapu Thunder for the big 300. Yeah, they definitely should have played around that. Regardless, we still could have Stellar Wish to hit an Electropower for game as well. Our last Electropower. Okay, that's a nice win. Fortunately, they didn't heal. They didn't heal throughout the game. They're damaged Zard. Also, if the previous turn they had attacked with the undamaged Zard the first time, then we would have been in way worse trouble. I would have had to find a Guzma attack that turn, like Guzma kill Lillie that turn, to go for the Koko the next turn. Whereas keeping the damaged Zard active meant I could go for Nightcap, which meant I could play draw supporters to have a higher chance of getting there. Let's go for another game. Pretty crazy that we basically did 4 attacks to win that game. Is it 4 attacks? 1 Jirachi. Oh no, we also flopped 5 attacks. It was 5 attacks to win the game. The flop didn't end up mattering, but it could have been our way to win. It meant that we had the Electropower or Stretcher out. So that flop was value. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Looks like we're up against Salazzle Hand. This is one of our hardest matchups, of course, because I mean the Kukui's help, right? The Kukui's really help. We have Let Loose in here as well. Hard matchup because it's hard for us to take knockouts every turn. It could also be the Shedinja deck. We have 1 rope. All of our Guzmas. If it is the Shedinja deck, we'll attach a Lillie here. I think I'm just gonna pass. Don't think we need to board. I can board Guzma next turn if I have to. I want to get more information on what we're up against. Is it the hand or is it the prize denial? Oh, it's neither. It's Gramble that plays resource management. Okay. Gramble that doesn't want to lose to Mill. I can respect that. They already play Titanizer and Power Pad in the deck, so just having basic energies and resource management means they can usually have enough resources to get through stall. So I don't mind this at all. This is a good tech choice right now. I respect it. Gramble is also not a great matchup for us. Again, Kukui's really help. They really help us push to 130 with 1 Electropower, 1 Kukui. So praise Kukui is all I'm saying. Gives us a fighting chance. They're going to do their deck searches with this Apricorn Maker. They're going to grab Nest Ultra Ball. I wonder if they are a Magcargo build, or are they just going to be a Red's Challenge Monkey build? They're going to Ultra Ball away Diantha Guzma. Yep, they're playing Magcargo. Interesting that I think they prized their Ditto. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they take it every time there. We're just going to Guzma the Slug. Will I Ultra Ball first? Yeah, I can Ultra Ball away. Choice Band, and probably just the energy. I think I like developing Blitzle. Do we need backup? Backup Zap? Yeah, probably backup Zap is still fine here. Little Stellar Wish. Yeah, now we can Nest Ball Blitzle. That works. Still think there's a lot of value in this sprint. we'll be digging for pieces for sure. Rainbow can always go onto our Zapdos, doesn't change any math for them, and we don't want a Sledgehammer turn anyway, and we probably don't want to do an all-out turn. We can copy Giant Fangs with a Beast Energy, or we could copy Sledgehammer, or sorry, we could use Sledgehammer with a Beast Energy. Either way, the Rainbows are a lot less useful. It's the Beast Energy that matters in this matchup. This would also be a matchup that would be heavily improved with a Beast Game GX option. Any evolving basic deck is one that you could think about playing the Buzzmosa in, because it can become a win condition just finding Beast Energy at the right time with Nest Ball or whatever. They're going to go ahead and grab a Gramble. They're going to Palpad back in. Diantha and probably something else. Diantha Apricorn. No need for Guzma, by the looks of things. Stealthy Hood, and they can Apricorn Maker, so they're going to have to go ahead and grab Instruct Arunio. Maybe double Nest Ball here, actually. Yep, it's going to be double Nest. Maybe for double Instruct. Maybe Slugma Instruct, and just hope off of one. Would be interesting. Oh, now they grab Ditto. Did not have the chance earlier when they had the lone slug. Who knows? Alright then. Double Nest. One Instruct. Oh, what? Huh? Okay. Well, that's good news. They've prized all their good Orangaroos? Okay, I guess they prized their good Orangaroos. Or they've made a grave mistake. Or they've put the wrong Orangaroos in the deck. Something's happened there. Let's get another game in though. Lightning Psychic. What could you be? We're going to mull. Start with the Buzz. We got Zap that we can bench. Ah, it's Pikarom. Okay, well, we're not playing Mew. So Pikarom is still tricky. Definitely still tricky. We've prized our Koko Prism Star as well, which is a big piece of our puzzle against them, which is a shame. We have our Beast Energy. We have both stretches. One Electropower in the prize cards. Like I said, one Prism Star. Nihilego also prized. We have all of our supporters. No, one Lillie's prized. One Lightning Energy. Okay. I'm going to grab this. And then we can go ahead and grab a Blitzle. I'll drop Zapdos. I think I'll Choice Band unattached to active. It's still a lot for them to try and full blitz on one, even with the Dene. We can grab Ultra Ball, which isn't too shabby. Probably want to save this for next turn so it can be a sprint option. So I think I will just bench one more Jirachi to play around Zapdos coming in and smacking us, and we'll just pass. Okay. Not a bad turn one. I'm most worried about our prize, mainly being the Prism Star. It's a big piece of the puzzle, especially when we don't play Mew, so he actually can get around Sledgehammer. Taking an Ultra Ball for Zeraora. The good news about Pikarom is they seem to be a lot more GX based. And Dedenne and Lele, like the more of those that come into play, the better for us. Like those are all pretty easy prizes to reach. So that's good news. The fact that they've gone turbo based, not too bad for us. Not too bad at all. So as long as we can capitalize on that, we should be golden. We're going to see an Ultra Ball here. Haven't seen any lightnings in the discard. Oh, there's one lightning in the discard pile. What am I talking about? Oh, they play Lysander Labs, but that's hitting the bin. I'm happy to see that go. Shutting down our boards is a little bit scary. Even our Choice Band. I actually feel like Lysander Labs would have been so good for them there. That's insane. That means the hand is probably pretty good. They're going to attach. And retreat into the Zap. Energy switch over to it. Let loose or nah? Dedenne or nah? No, just a knockout. Okay. Just your average knockout. So we can go into our Jirachi here. Guzma looks amazing. If we can hit Guzma, that would be phenomenal. Alternative is we hit a not great card. Like, even any switch card is good here. It's a guaranteed knockout, and he's only got one energy in play so far. We also have the backup sprint available. Rope is amazing. Now, this is a good escape rope, that's for sure. I can put his Zeraora in Shrine range, which is just so good. So good. Do this, just Lillie for 3. I think getting rid of the 2 lightnings is more sort of trying to put fear into him of a Koko. That's what it's all about here. And we'll just Sledgehammer. This is really nice. The 1 Shrine will come into play at some point. It's difficult for him to Zapdos knock us out. It's going to take a couple of Electropowers. He may just want a Guzma or Jirachi or something, which we wouldn't mind. Also, he has to fear Swing Around being a real threat. So he probably wants to go through this Buzzwole if he can. But it's asking a lot. He needs to move the active and get 3 energy in the back. It really is asking a lot from him. Fantastic early Buzzwole pressure. It's not only that key Sledgehammer turn, it's just a good attacker in general when you have type coverage. Our opponent's going to attach to the active. It means they can get out of there. At the very least, they can hit us with a Zapdos. Let's see what else they can do. The fact they got rid of Labs when it was a really strong card tells me that the hand was good, but looks like they're just going to reload here, let loose us both. They did put down the Koko Prism Star as well. 1 energy currently in the bin. They still have their supporter for turn as well. So there's still plenty more they could do. They actually play Raikou. There's Zapdos Mirror-Tect. Let's see what they're going to do here. They're just going to Thunderous Assault the active. Well, our turn's pretty good. We can just take the individual prize. Again, mapping out our prizes, it's this, this, and this. So, it's looking pretty good. There's the shrine. Oh my goodness. That's just amazing. Taking out both energies at once as well. So his energy switch plays are much worse. And also starting to plug away at the Pika ROM. Yeah, we've done pretty well so far. We've had the good side of luck. They need to kill our Buzzwole this turn as well. Otherwise, we can just attach and swing around for game. And the fact that he has to go through this Buzzwole means we can win via Stretcher as well. Stretcher Sledgehammer. So it feels like he's relatively checkmated. Volkner is not Guzma. So unless he hand disrupts us, we've won the game. Buzzwole Pressure Man. Doing the work. Doing the bits. They're going to get radar energy. There's already plenty of energies in the discard pile. They're going to radar. Getting rid of 2 more energy cards. That's a lot in the bin. That's 5. They can go ahead and grab like Zero Aura Dedenne, possibly. They can grab Koko-GX if they have to. I'm not so sure what they can do here. Pretty sure it looks like we're going to have game on them. They can attach. They can dance. And they can come in and Sky High Claws. But we're holding Guzma Energy for swing around. With Beast and Band, there's no need for us to... Yeah, okay, he has the Booming Thunder because he can't give us Sledgehammer turn. But we're still there. We are still there. Swing around. Let's do it. Fortunately, we didn't need those flips. We're already doing 280. So, that's nice. And I think we've got time for one more game. We've beaten these tag team decks pretty quickly. So let's have one more game of Zap. Still such a traditional list, really. Not too much has changed apart from those Kukuis. That's really about it. And I've talked about how they can help us out in all these different spots. It's not come to light just yet. It's not... You've not been in those spots. But we haven't faced a Volk Reshizard, and we haven't faced... Well, the Gramble we could have used, like, if they hadn't bricked. Like, I feel like we would have used those Kukuis later on in the game, if it ever got to that point. It's just they ended up... I think they prized 2, like, Orangaroos or something, but something like that, I imagine. We once again kick off with a Jirachi, which is always great. Let's give him a love art. He's earned it. And the start's looking okay here. We have Stellar-Wish and Let Loose to fall back on. Oh, we're up against Meganium. We're up against Meganium Swamp. Okay. Meganium Swamp Nidoqueen. What a deck. Luckily, having played the deck, I know what it hates. It hates Let Loose, and it hates early Guzmas. That's what this deck can do quite well. So that's what we're going to look to do. If they do get their board state rolling, there's not much we can do about it. So it's about those early few turns. They start off with Lillie into Nest Ball. They're going to go ahead and grab a Mudkip, And just pass it over. Okay. Not the best of turns for them. I think I want to Ultra Ball first here. Buzzwole's never great here. Sledgehammer's never taking a knockout, even with Beast Energy. So that's pretty poor. I think I just get rid of a Lightning as well. For Koko plays, Koko-GX is one thing that can take knockouts with Electropower. Oh, we prized our Let Loose. That's a problem. That's a real problem. Okay. That's a shame. Okay, we'll grab Blitzle. And I'll Stellar Wish and hope to find Guzma. No Guzma, but we can use the Escape Board at least to knock out the active. Not an ideal turn one, but it's still a knockout. Our hand isn't very well prepped either for next turn. We've just got a Zapdos kind of trapped right now, but we have Sprint, I guess. And we'll be drawing one prize, and that's a Let Loose. He's arrived. He's arrived. Okay. Good. Very good. He has arrived. They're going to go ahead and go for greens here. I wonder if they'll greens for more nest balls, or if they'll just go ahead and start grabbing candies. I wonder. As soon as they get the Meganium, it's basically untouchable for us. Nest Ball, Great Ball. Okay. They're going to Nest Ball first, so they're looking for the stage 2s. That's what it tells me from the Great Ball. Otherwise, they would have Great Balled first, just for higher Pokemon outs physically. Here's Rare Candy into the Swamp. They can also Power Draw here, so they're going for a 10-card dig. They're going to get rid of a Nidoqueen. They can Great Ball now, looking for Meganium, I imagine. They get another Chikorita, that's also still good. They can Ultra Ball now. Going to get rid of... Oh, they're getting rid of that Chikorita, okay. For Meganium, okay, cool. So Rare Candy Meganium comes online. If they got rid of a Nidoqueen, they're probably going to have another one in hand. Yep. They can now Queen's Call if they want to. I doubt they'll be putting anything down on the bench, because it's an easy Guzma. They should probably just hold it for a Ripen for next turn. Oh, okay. Well, they got the Super Boost and they can Hydro Pump us. So all it took was us to not let loose them for one turn, and it's got way out of hand. Okay. So we will stretch her back. Zap. I'm going to Nest Ball the Prism. The bench. We're going to evolve. I really don't want to let loose. But in terms of... It helps us progress our hand so much that I feel like we have to. Feels like he's already got pretty far, but... It's more for our own hand sake at this point. I think now I want to Stellar Wish. Any Ball Search means I could Koko and Electropower to knock this out. Oh, I don't even need Electropower. I could GX to knock him out. So Ultra Ball's the dream here. Guzma a Mudkip. Doesn't feel great. He could just like Queen's Call out something else pretty quickly. So I think I'll just take a pass on this one. Try and play the Cynthia. I can still attach. We don't need to Electropower because this is the time to GX if ever. They're unlikely to Guzma Jirachi, so I think I'll just board this real quick. And Cynthia. We miss our outs to Koko-GX. I could still Nest Ball Switch to try and Stellar Wish for an Ultra Ball, because I could just dance an Ultra Ball. I think that's the play. I don't even need to switch, I can retreat. We really need to try and stifle his draw engine. That's what we've got to do here. Choice Band changes nothing, but we can sprint it away. We're pretty much going all in here. But I don't mind going all in necessarily. Because I know how this, like, this just goes badly as soon as the board state becomes out of our control. It just straight up goes very badly for us, so. We'll sprint, try and hope for Ultra Ball. No luck there. So, overall, this has been a catastrophic turn. So we'll just pass. Yep, they got that turn 2 board rolling well enough for us to be in huge trouble here. Now they can Queen's Call, double Swampert, and it's like we can't even stifle their board now. We had this one chance basically to like keep him at 1 power draw, and maybe then he starts whiffing. Maybe like whiff an energy for a turn and try and make a comeback with our Koko. But it feels pretty far gone now. They're going to power draw number 2. They're going to Guzma. Yeah, that's game. Yep, we're going to concede to that. Am I? I mean, I have Energy Stadium. I mean, I should be conceding. We're so far behind here. Yeah, we're just going to concede. We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him. Yeah, well done, Meganium. Survived the let loose because of prize cards. Gosh darn it. What a shame. Oh well, Zapbeast did its best. In the end, wrecked by the stage 2 shenanigans that we recorded earlier today, which is awesome, I guess. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy Zapbeasts. What are your tech Pokemon from Unbroken Bonds? I'll hear it all down below. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be back tomorrow with another Unbroken Bonds deck. Cheers.